If you've ever felt overwhelmed by stress or the chaos of modern life, these simple yet profound teachings can guide you towards greater peace and inner tranquility. So grab a cup of tea, get comfy, and let's explore these life-changing principles. Rule 1. Practice mindfulness. Be present in the moment. The first rule is about mindfulness. In Buddhism, mindfulness is one of the most important practices. It means being fully aware of the present moment without being distracted by the past or future. When you're mindful, you pay attention to your thoughts, emotions, and actions without judgment. This practice can transform your life by helping you reduce anxiety. Often stress comes from worrying about things that haven't happened yet or ruminating over past events. Mindfulness teaches you to embrace the now. By focusing on the current moment, whether it's your breath, a simple task, or a conversation, you can find peace in the here and now. A simple way to practice mindfulness is by engaging in meditation. Start by setting aside a few minutes each day to sit quietly, breathe deeply, and focus on the present moment. With time, you'll become more aware of your thoughts and emotions, allowing you to respond to life's challenges with greater calm and clarity. Rule 2. The Noble Eightfold Path. Live with right intentions. The second rule is rooted in one of the core teachings of Buddhism, the Noble Eightfold Path. This path is a guide to living a life free from suffering, and it covers everything from your actions to your mindset. Specifically, the second step is right intention, which encourages you to live with a positive and compassionate mindset. In simple terms, this means cultivating good intentions in all that you do. It's about choosing kindness, compassion, and generosity in your thoughts, speech, and actions. By being mindful of your intentions, you can avoid negative patterns of thinking that lead to stress, anger, or fear. When you act from a place of love and understanding, your life becomes more peaceful, and the world around you will reflect that peace. Rule 3. Let go of attachments. Non-attachment. The third rule is about letting go of attachments. In Buddhism, attachment is considered a source of suffering. We often attach ourselves to people, possessions, or outcomes, thinking they will bring us happiness. But the truth is, everything is temporary and ever-changing. When we cling to things that are fleeting, we set ourselves up for disappointment. To live a peaceful life, Buddhists teach the importance of non-attachment. This doesn't mean that you shouldn't enjoy life or love the people around you. It simply means learning to let go of the need to control or possess things. When you practice non-attachment, you stop worrying about losing things or people, and instead, you embrace life as it comes, accepting both the good and the bad with equanimity. Rule 4. Cultivate compassion, metta. The fourth rule is the practice of compassion, also known as metta in Buddhism. Compassion is not just about feeling sympathy for others, but also about actively wishing well for them, even those who may have wronged you. This can be a challenging practice, but it's incredibly powerful in cultivating peace in your life. When you practice compassion, you shift your mindset from one of judgment or resentment to one of understanding and empathy. It's important to remember that everyone is fighting their own battles, and your kindness can help heal wounds that may not even be visible. You can start cultivating compassion by practicing loving-kindness meditation. This practice involves silently repeating phrases like, "May you be happy, may you be healthy, may you be at peace," directed towards yourself, loved ones, strangers, and even those with whom you may have conflicts. As you cultivate these feelings, your heart will open and peace will naturally follow. Rule 5. Embrace impermanence. Everything changes. The fifth rule is the acceptance of impermanence. Buddhists believe that everything in life is impermanent. Nothing stays the same forever. From the joy of a happy moment to the pain of a difficult experience, everything is constantly changing. While this can be a tough concept to grasp, it's also incredibly freeing. When you realize that nothing is permanent, you can stop holding on so tightly to things. You'll learn to appreciate the good moments when they come, but also not fear the challenges, because they too will pass. By embracing impermanence, you can develop a sense of peace, knowing that whatever you're facing right now is temporary. Rule 6. Practice gratitude. Appreciate what you have. The sixth rule is the practice of gratitude. Buddhism teaches us that true happiness is not found in external circumstances, but in how we choose to view the world. When you focus on what you have instead of what you lack, your life becomes richer and more peaceful. Start by practicing daily gratitude. Take a moment each day to reflect on the things you're thankful for. It can be as simple as appreciating the warmth of the sun, a kind word from a friend, or your health. By shifting your focus from what's missing to what's present, you'll begin to cultivate an inner sense of contentment and joy. Rule 7. Live with right action. Do no harm. Personal reflection on the 7 Buddhist rules. As we reflect on the 7 Buddhist rules for a calm and peaceful life, it's essential to remember that these aren't just concepts to understand, they are practices to embody. It's easy to get caught up in the rush of everyday life and forget to be present or mindful, but it's in the little moments that we find peace. If you want to see real change, start with small intentional steps. Perhaps try focusing on just one rule for a week. Maybe start with mindfulness or cultivating compassion and notice how it impacts your life. You might not get it perfect, and that's okay. Buddhism isn't about perfection, it's about continuous improvement and self-compassion. The more you practice, the more natural it will become. Soon enough, you'll see the effects in how you interact with others, how you handle challenges, and most importantly, how you feel inside. Real-life examples and applications. Now, you might be wondering how to apply these Buddhist rules in the modern world. It can seem like a challenge, especially with everything going on in our fast-paced lives. Let's take a closer look at a few real-life examples. Mindfulness in everyday life. Imagine you're feeling overwhelmed at work or at home. Your mind is racing with tasks, emails, and responsibilities. Instead of letting the anxiety take over, you take a few deep breaths and practice mindfulness. You notice the sensation of your breath as it flows in and out. You focus on the present moment, whether it's the sound of your breath, the feeling of your feet on the ground, or the temperature of the air. This simple practice can center you and bring clarity to your mind, helping you approach tasks more calmly. Letting go of attachments with family or friends. If you're struggling with a relationship, remember the Buddhist principle of non-attachment. You can love someone deeply without clinging to them. Whether it's a family member or a friend, letting go of the need for control over the relationship allows it to flourish in a healthy way. You can still be there for them, support them, and care for them without needing them to behave in a certain way or meet your expectations. This non-attachment brings freedom and peace to both parties. Living with compassion. Think about a time when someone was rude to you. It's easy to get defensive, but imagine responding with compassion instead. Maybe they're going through something difficult that you don't know about. Practicing compassion allows you to step back from your emotions and react with kindness rather than reacting out of anger. This doesn't just change your experience, it can also transform the relationship. Embracing impermanence in life's struggles. Life is full of ups and downs, but remember that everything good or bad is impermanent. The next time you face a difficult challenge, remind yourself that this moment, too, will pass. Whether it's a tough project at work or a personal hardship, things are always changing. This understanding helps you face adversity with a calm mind, knowing that brighter days are ahead. Additional Buddhist practices for a peaceful life. If you've enjoyed these 7 rules and are looking for additional practices to incorporate into your life, here are a few more Buddhist teachings that can contribute to your peace and well-being. The 4 Noble Truths. These are central teachings in Buddhism. The 4 Noble Truths explore the nature of suffering and how to overcome it. By understanding that suffering is part of life, learning to let go of attachments, and following the Eightfold Path, we can reduce suffering and increase happiness. Meditation. Meditation is a cornerstone of Buddhist practice. By regularly sitting in quiet reflection, you develop the ability to observe your thoughts and emotions without judgment. This leads to greater self-awareness and emotional balance, which are key to maintaining inner peace. Detachment from ego. Buddhism teaches that the ego, or the self-centered desire for control and recognition, is a source of suffering. By learning to let go of the need for constant validation, we cultivate a sense of inner peace and reduce our attachment to outcomes. This detachment helps us live with more humility and harmony. Final words of encouragement. Remember, the journey to a peaceful life is not about arriving at a destination. It's about the ongoing process of growth, learning, and self-awareness. Incorporating even just one of these Buddhist teachings can create ripple effects in your life, leading to more harmony and peace. Start small, be patient with yourself, and celebrate the progress you make, no matter how incremental it might seem. And remember, peace is not something you find outside yourself. It comes from within. By aligning your thoughts, words, and actions with these principles, you're not just changing your life. You're contributing to a more peaceful world for everyone around you. Call to action. Before we end, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Which of these Buddhist rules resonates with you the most? Have you tried any of them in your own life? Share your experiences in the comments, and let's start a conversation. If you're interested in diving deeper into Buddhist philosophy, let me know, and I'd be happy to make more videos on this topic. If you found this video helpful, please consider liking, subscribing, and sharing it with friends who might benefit from these teachings as well. Together, we can spread peace and mindfulness in our everyday lives. Finally, the 7th rule is to live with right action. This principle encourages us to live in a way that is ethically sound and harms no one, whether that's through our words, thoughts, or actions. In Buddhism, right action is not only about avoiding physical harm, but also about promoting peace and kindness in the world. To practice right action, you can start by being mindful of how you interact with others. Avoid gossiping, lying, or acting out of anger. Instead, choose to be kind, honest, and helpful. When you live with right action, you contribute to creating a peaceful world, and that peace naturally flows back to you. So there you have it. These 7 Buddhist rules: mindfulness, right intention, non-attachment, compassion, impermanence, gratitude, and right action, are powerful tools for creating a calm and peaceful life. They remind us to live with awareness, kindness, and wisdom. It's important to remember that these rules aren't something you need to master overnight. They're lifelong practices that will deepen with time. So, take it one step at a time and embrace the journey. Further exploration of mindfulness. Mindfulness isn't just about meditation. It's a way of being that you can apply to any aspect of your life. For instance, think about the act of eating. How often do we rush through meals without really tasting the food? Mindful eating is a practice where you pay attention to each bite, its texture, its flavor, and even how your body responds to it. When we engage fully in the act of eating, we connect more deeply to the present moment, and this connection can transform an everyday routine into a peaceful practice. This principle can extend beyond eating to walking, driving, or even listening. Next time you're in a conversation, really listen, not just to respond, but to understand. Letting go of distractions, even for a few minutes, can create a deep sense of connection to others and to your surroundings. Deep dive into right intention, Noble Eightfold Path. When we speak about right intention, we're referring to aligning our thoughts and actions with love, kindness, and compassion. But what does this actually look like in the real world? A great way to practice this is by checking in with your internal dialogue. Before making decisions or reacting to something, ask yourself, what is my intention behind this? For example, if someone cuts you off in traffic, do you respond with anger and frustration? Or do you remember that everyone has their struggles and might be in a rush themselves? The intention behind your response, when rooted in kindness, can help you remain calm and avoid unnecessary tension. The Buddha often spoke about cultivating right thought, an intention to lead with love and goodwill. When we let go of negative thought patterns such as anger, greed, or jealousy, we make space for peace to enter our hearts. This intention of goodwill can even extend to our own self-talk, treating ourselves with the same compassion we would offer a loved one. Further understanding. Non-attachment. It's important to note that non-attachment isn't the same as detachment. In fact, detachment can sometimes feel cold or indifferent. Non-attachment, on the other hand, encourages us to enjoy life without being consumed by it. We can appreciate the people we love, the possessions we hold dear, and the experiences we have without feeling like we need to control or possess them. Consider the analogy of holding a bird in your hand. If you grip too tightly, the bird will be harmed. But if you hold the bird lightly, with openness and gentleness, it can freely be itself and fly away when the time is right. This is how we should approach our relationships, our possessions, and even our emotions, by embracing them without clinging or trying to control the outcomes. Living with compassion in challenging times. Sometimes it's easy to be compassionate when things are going well, but what about when we face conflict, difficulty, or even pain? Expanding on the power of right action. One of the most transformative teachings in Buddhism is right action, which is part of the Noble Eightfold Path. This concept is about ensuring that our actions align with our values, causing no harm to ourselves or others. Let's break it down a bit more. In everyday life, right action is reflected in how we interact with others. It's in the words we speak, the way we listen, and the kindness we show. For instance, when faced with a challenging situation at work, instead of reacting with frustration or anger, right action encourages us to respond with patience and understanding. When you practice right action, you create an environment of trust and positivity, which in turn leads to more peace in your life. A simple yet powerful way to practice this is through conscious communication. In a heated conversation, pause and take a breath before speaking. Ask yourself, is this the most compassionate way to respond? Sometimes a calm and kind response can diffuse a potentially volatile situation and create a peaceful resolution. The role of forgiveness in achieving peace. Another powerful practice in Buddhism that ties in with compassion and peace is forgiveness. It's important to note that forgiveness isn't about condoning harmful actions or letting people off the hook. Instead, it's about releasing the hold that resentment and anger have on you. When we hold on to grudges, we carry unnecessary mental weight. Our mind becomes clouded with negative emotions that drain our energy and peace of mind. Buddhists believe that forgiveness is essential for freeing ourselves from the cycle of suffering. Think about someone in your life who may have hurt you. Imagine releasing the emotional burden of that pain. By forgiving, you're not letting the other person off the hook. You're choosing to let go of the bitterness that keeps you stuck. This is a practice that, when embraced, creates tremendous inner peace. Integrating Buddhism into busy lives. Now, I know that many of us live incredibly busy lives. Work, family responsibilities, social obligations. It can feel overwhelming at times. So, how do we integrate these Buddhist principles into our hectic schedules? The good news is that even amidst the busyness, these teachings are meant to support us in finding peace. Here are a few ways to do that. Mindfulness in routine tasks. You can practice mindfulness during your daily routines. If you're washing dishes, instead of letting your mind wander, focus on the sensation of the water, the soap, and the texture of the dishes. This simple practice helps you stay grounded and present, even in the midst of a busy day. Breathe and pause. When life feels overwhelming, take a pause. Stop for a moment, take a few deep breaths, and center yourself. This brief pause can help reset your energy and prevent you from reacting impulsively to stressors. Set intentions at the start of the day. Each morning, take a few minutes to set an intention for your day. Ask yourself, how do I want to approach today? Maybe your intention is to respond with patience, to be present, or to practice kindness. Setting an intention acts as a guiding star throughout your day, keeping you aligned with your values, even when distractions arise. The role of simplicity in Buddhist living. Another aspect of Buddhist teachings is the concept of simplicity. In our modern world, we're often encouraged to accumulate more possessions, more achievements, more recognition. However, the Buddhist path invites us to simplify and find peace in what we already have. Simplifying our lives doesn't mean getting rid of everything we own, but rather focusing on what truly matters. Take a moment to evaluate your possessions, your commitments, and your relationships. Are they adding value to your life, or are they cluttering your mind and spirit? By intentionally simplifying, we make space for peace to flourish. This principle also applies to our minds. In Buddhist meditation, the goal is to clear away mental clutter, letting go of thoughts that no longer serve us. Instead of constantly chasing new distractions, focus on the present moment and appreciate the beauty in simplicity. Practical meditation tips. If you're new to meditation or looking to deepen your practice, here are some practical tips to help you get started or stay consistent. Start small. If you're just beginning, don't feel the need to meditate for long stretches of time. Even just 5 to 10 minutes a day can make a significant difference. As you get more comfortable, you can gradually extend your sessions. Focus on your breath. One of the most straightforward ways to meditate is by focusing on your breath. Close your eyes, inhale deeply, and exhale slowly. Notice how your chest rises and falls. Whenever your mind begins to wander, gently bring your focus back to your breath. This helps calm the mind and bring you into the present moment. Body scan meditation. Another technique is the body scan. This practice involves mentally scanning your body from head to toe, noticing any areas of tension or discomfort. As you breathe, imagine sending relaxation to these areas, releasing any stress or tightness. This can be especially effective if you're feeling anxious or physically tense. To make the teachings more relatable, let's dive into some real-life stories that show how people apply these Buddhist rules in challenging situations. The story of Thich Nhat Hanh's mindfulness. Thich Nhat Hanh, a world-renowned Buddhist monk, is an embodiment of mindfulness and peace. There's a powerful story of how he once shared about a time when he was in a Vietnamese war zone. Amid the chaos and violence, he would practice mindfulness by simply breathing deeply and feeling the presence of the earth beneath him. Despite the outer turmoil, he remained calm and connected to the present moment. His practice is a testament to the idea that peace isn't about escaping life's difficulties, but about remaining grounded despite them. So, even in the toughest circumstances, you can choose to center yourself with mindfulness, bringing peace within and around you. A personal story of compassion in action. Another example is the Dalai Lama, who continually teaches about living with compassion. During his exile from Tibet, he was approached by a journalist who asked how he could forgive the Chinese government for the pain they caused him and his people. The Dalai Lama responded with wisdom, "I do not forgive them for them, I forgive them for myself, so I can live in peace." This statement shows us that practicing compassion and forgiveness is not about excusing harmful actions. It's about freeing our hearts from the weight of resentment, ultimately creating peace in our own lives. These stories remind us that we can apply the principles of mindfulness, compassion, and non-attachment in real-world challenging situations to find peace in even the most difficult moments. Buddhism and emotional regulation. Let's touch on how Buddhism can help with emotional regulation, a key aspect of maintaining a peaceful life. One of the core practices of Buddhism is learning to respond to our emotions with awareness and control, rather than being swept away by them. Buddha taught that emotions, like everything else, are impermanent. They arise, they stay for a while, and they eventually fade. The challenge is not trying to avoid emotions, but to observe them without becoming consumed by them. For example, when you feel anger or frustration, instead of reacting impulsively, pause and observe where that emotion is coming from. Ask yourself, what is the root of this feeling? How can I respond skillfully? By practicing awareness of our emotions, we gain the power to choose our reactions. For instance, if someone criticizes you harshly, instead of reacting defensively, take a moment to acknowledge the emotion you feel and then decide how to respond with patience and understanding. Over time, these moments of self-awareness can lead to emotional mastery, which is key to a peaceful and balanced life. Dealing with negative thoughts through Buddhist wisdom. Negative thoughts can be a significant obstacle to inner peace. Many people struggle with self-doubt, worry, or feelings of inadequacy. But Buddhism teaches us that these thoughts, like emotions, are not permanent. They are just mental formations. The key is learning not to identify with them. One way to deal with negative thoughts is through the practice of noting or labeling in mindfulness meditation. When a negative thought arises, rather than getting lost in it, simply note it. For example, you might mentally say to yourself, this is a thought of fear, or this is a thought of doubt. By labeling the thought, you create a distance between yourself and the thought. You can then choose whether to hold on to it or let it go. This simple technique can be transformative. Over time, you'll find that your thoughts no longer control you, and you can experience more peace and clarity. Buddhist teachings on the nature of happiness. We often look outside of ourselves for happiness, whether through achievements, possessions, or relationships. But Buddhism offers a radically different perspective. True happiness arises from within. In Buddhist teachings, happiness is seen as a byproduct of inner peace, contentment, and wisdom. Buddha spoke about the difference between fleeting pleasure, which arises from external conditions, and true happiness, which is cultivated through the inner qualities of the mind. When we pursue external pleasures or desires, they are often temporary and unfulfilling. But when we cultivate inner peace, mindfulness, and compassion, we tap into a deeper, more lasting form of happiness. A practical example. Instead of seeking happiness through external validation or material wealth, you can cultivate inner happiness by being grateful for the present moment and practicing self-compassion. You'll soon discover that peace and contentment aren't tied to external circumstances. They arise from within. The power of silence and reflection. One of the key aspects of Buddhist practice is the cultivation of silence, not only externally, but internally as well. The Buddha often retreated into nature or quiet spaces for contemplation. In today's noisy world, silence is a rare gift that can restore peace to the mind. Taking time to be silent and reflect, whether through meditation, journaling, or simply sitting in stillness, gives you the space to hear your inner voice and connect with your deeper self. This practice can also help you clarify your values and priorities, allowing you to make decisions that align with your true essence. Consider setting aside time each day to sit in silence for a few minutes. As you do so, let go of the constant chatter of your thoughts and simply observe what arises. This practice creates a sense of peace that can carry you through even the busiest of days. The importance of patience and perseverance. Another key Buddhist teaching is the importance of patience. Patience doesn't mean passively waiting for things to happen. It means having the courage to face challenges with a calm and steady heart. The Buddha compared patience to a garden. Just as the gardener plants a seed and waters it with patience and care, eventually the tree will grow. Many times we want instant results, especially when it comes to spiritual growth. But the journey toward inner peace and enlightenment is gradual. It takes time, practice, and consistent effort. Don't be discouraged by setbacks or challenges. Remember, it's the consistent cultivation of patience, mindfulness, and compassion that leads to long-term peace. Conclusion: a call to embrace peace. Every day, as we wrap up today's video, I want to leave you with this thought. Peace is not something that happens only in quiet, serene moments. It can be a part of your life at any time. The Buddhist teachings give us tools to find peace in any situation, whether we're at work, in a difficult conversation, or in moments of stress. By applying the 7 Buddhist rules: mindfulness, compassion, non-attachment, right action, emotional regulation, forgiveness, and equanimity, you're creating a foundation for a life of deep peace and contentment. The journey to inner peace might not always be easy, but it's always worthwhile. Just take it one step at a time. Start small. Practice mindfulness during a conversation. Take a moment of silence when you feel overwhelmed, or choose compassion when you're upset. Over time, these small actions will add up and transform the way you experience the world. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share it with anyone who might benefit from these teachings. And let me know in the comments, which Buddhist practice do you find most challenging, and how do you plan to incorporate it into your life? Let's share our journeys toward peace and growth together. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, may your heart be calm, your mind clear, and your life peaceful. Guided meditation. If you find it difficult to meditate alone, consider using guided meditations. There are many free resources online that can guide you through various practices, whether it's for relaxation, stress relief, or cultivating compassion. Living with peaceful detachment. This brings us to another important aspect of Buddhist philosophy: detachment. While we've already discussed non-attachment, detachment has a slightly different nuance. It's about cultivating a sense of inner peace, even when external circumstances are beyond our control. Consider a situation where things didn't go as planned. Maybe a project you worked on for months falls through, or a personal goal remains unmet. Instead of feeling crushed or defeated, detachment teaches us to accept the outcome without letting it define us. It's not about apathy, but rather about finding peace regardless of the result. It's also important to note that detachment doesn't mean we stop caring about others. We still love, support, and nurture our relationships. But we do so without being overly dependent on them for our happiness. This balance creates harmony in our lives, allowing us to give and receive love freely. Closing reflection on inner peace. As we conclude today's discussion, remember that the pursuit of peace is a lifelong journey. It's not about perfection, but about progress. The 7 Buddhist rules we discussed today are like stepping stones. They guide us in cultivating a calm, compassionate, and wise heart. As you practice these teachings, you'll begin to see the subtle shifts in how you approach life's challenges and opportunities. What I hope you take away from this video is that peace is available to you right now, in this very moment. It's not something you have to chase, it's something you can create and nurture from within. If you're going through a tough period or facing challenges, remember that cultivating compassion toward yourself is just as important as offering it to others. When life gets hard, it's easy to criticize ourselves for not being strong enough or not doing enough. But practicing self-compassion can help you see that you're doing the best you can in that moment. Allow yourself to be gentle with yourself, just as you would be gentle with a friend going through a tough time. In times of conflict or distress, take a deep breath and remind yourself of the larger picture. This is another moment in time, and just like all things, it too shall pass. By responding with compassion, we not only heal ourselves, but we also create an environment where peace can blossom even in challenging times. Gratitude as a daily practice. While we briefly touched on gratitude earlier, it's worth diving deeper into how this practice can transform your life. You don't need to wait until Thanksgiving to practice gratitude. It can be a part of your everyday routine. Start with a simple gratitude journal. Every morning or evening, write down 3 things you're grateful for. They can be big things like a promotion at work, or small things like the warmth of the sun on your skin. Over time, this habit helps shift your mindset from scarcity and worry to abundance and peace. By regularly recognizing the blessings in your life, you become more attuned to the good around you, and in turn, you experience more joy and fulfillment. Even on difficult days, gratitude allows you to reframe your perspective. Instead of focusing on what's going wrong, you can find at least one thing to appreciate. This mental shift is incredibly powerful, and it's one of the simplest ways to create more peace in your life. Living with equanimity. Buddhism teaches us to cultivate equanimity, mental and emotional balance, no matter the circumstances. Life is full of ups and downs, and how we react to them can determine our peace. It's natural to feel joy when something wonderful happens, and sadness when things go wrong. But equanimity teaches us to be steady in both situations. For instance, when a stressful event happens, instead of reacting immediately with panic or frustration, you pause and take a step back. You acknowledge the emotion, but you don't let it control you. You allow yourself to feel it, but then you let it pass. This practice creates a buffer between external events and your inner peace, helping you maintain calm no matter what life throws your way. Final meditation practice, guided. Before we end, let's do a brief guided meditation together. It's a simple practice that you can do anywhere to reconnect with your peaceful self. Find a comfortable seated position, close your eyes, and take a few deep breaths. Inhale deeply through your nose. Exhale slowly through your mouth. As you breathe in, imagine peace flowing into your body. With each exhale, release any tension or stress you may be carrying. Now bring to mind a moment of peace, a time when you felt calm and content. It could be from today, this week, or a memory from your past. Allow yourself to sink into that feeling of serenity. As you breathe, repeat to yourself, I am at peace, I am enough, I am present. Let that peaceful energy fill your entire being. Let it radiate from your heart, and know that peace is always within you, available at any moment. Take a final deep breath in and exhale, gently opening your eyes when you're ready. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more insightful content, and share your thoughts or any experiences with these principles in the comments below. Let's continue this peaceful journey together. Thanks for watching, and may you find peace in every step of your path. The 7 Buddhist rules we discussed today are like stepping stones. They guide us in cultivating a calm, compassionate, and wise heart. As you practice these teachings, you'll begin to see the subtle shifts in how you approach life's challenges and opportunities. What I hope you take away from this video is that peace is available to you right now, in this very moment. It's not something you have to chase, it's something you can create and nurture from within. If you're going through a tough period or facing challenges, remember that cultivating compassion toward yourself is just as important as offering it to others. When life gets hard, it's easy to criticize ourselves for not being strong enough or not doing enough. But practicing self-compassion can help you see that you're doing the best you can in that moment. Allow yourself to be gentle with yourself, just as you would be gentle with a friend going through a tough time. In times of conflict or distress, take a deep breath and remind yourself of the larger picture. This is another moment in time, and just like all things, it too shall pass. By responding with compassion, we not only heal ourselves, but we also create an environment where peace can blossom even in challenging times. Gratitude as a daily practice. While we briefly touched on gratitude earlier, it's worth diving deeper into how this practice can transform your life. You don't need to wait until Thanksgiving to practice gratitude. It can be a part of your everyday routine. Start with a simple gratitude journal. Every morning or evening, write down 3 things you're grateful for. They can be big things like a promotion at work, or small things like the warmth of the sun on your skin. Over time, this habit helps shift your mindset from scarcity and worry to abundance and peace. By regularly recognizing the blessings in your life, you become more attuned to the good around you, and in turn, you experience more joy and fulfillment. Even on difficult days, gratitude allows you to reframe your perspective. Instead of focusing on what's going wrong, you can find at least one thing to appreciate. This mental shift is incredibly powerful, and it's one of the simplest ways to create more peace in your life. Living with equanimity. Buddhism teaches us to cultivate equanimity, mental and emotional balance, no matter the circumstances. Life is full of ups and downs, and how we react to them can determine our peace. It's natural to feel joy when something wonderful happens, and sadness when things go wrong. But equanimity teaches us to be steady in both situations. For instance, when a stressful event happens, instead of reacting immediately with panic or frustration, you pause and take a step back. You acknowledge the emotion, but you don't let it control you. You allow yourself to feel it, but then you let it pass. This practice creates a buffer between external events and your inner peace, helping you maintain calm no matter what life throws your way. Final meditation practice, guided. Before we end, let's do a brief guided meditation together. It's a simple practice that you can do anywhere to reconnect with your peaceful self. Find a comfortable seated position, close your eyes, and take a few deep breaths. Inhale deeply through your nose. Exhale slowly through your mouth. As you breathe in, imagine peace flowing into your body. With each exhale, release any tension or stress you may be carrying. Now bring to mind a moment of peace, a time when you felt calm and content. It could be from today, this week, or a memory from your past. Allow yourself to sink into that feeling of serenity. As you breathe, repeat to yourself, I am at peace, I am enough, I am present. Let that peaceful energy fill your entire being. Let it radiate from your heart, and know that peace is always within you, available at any moment. Take a final deep breath in and exhale, gently opening your eyes when you're ready. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more insightful content, and share your thoughts or any experiences with these principles in the comments below. Let's continue this peaceful journey together. Thanks for watching, and may you find peace in every step of your path.